ツマンおじ今日のニュースを読みます。Reuters Dollar extended losses as geopolitics revived sell American trade by Gregor Hunter, January 20, 2026. Summary: Trump's Greenland threat sparked a retreat from U.S. assets. Japanese yen in focus as Takaichi votes to suspend sales tax on food. PBOC expected to hold steady on interest rate. Singapore, January 20th. Reuters. The dollar retreated for second day in Asian trading on Tuesday after threat from the White House toward the European Union of the future of Greenland triggered broad sell-off across U.S. stocks and government bonds. The dollar index, which measured the greenback strength against a basket of 6 currencies, slid as much as 0.2% to 98.891, its lowest level since January 13, as investors worried about exposure to U.S. markets. On Monday, U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed tariff threat against European allies triggered a repeat of so-called Sell American trade that emerged after last year's Liberation Day tariff announcement on April, with the stock, treasury bond, and dollar all declining. U.S. market will return on Tuesday following a public holiday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Investors are dumping dollar assets on fears of prolonged uncertainty, strained alliance, a loss of confidence in U.S. leadership, potential retaliation, and an acceleration of the dollarization trend, said Tony Sycamore, market analyst at IG in Sydney. While there are hopes the U.S. administration may soon de-escalate this threat, as it has with the prior tariff announcement, it is clear that securing Greenland remains a core national security objective for the current administration, he added. The yield on the U.S. 10-year Treasury bond was up 3.0 basis points at 4.2586%. Fed bonds futures are pricing an implied 95% probability that the U.S. Central Bank will remain on hold at its two-day meeting next week. Little changed from Friday, according to the CME Group's Fed Watch tool. The euro was last up 0.1% at $1.1658, while the British pound gained 0.1% to $1.3438. The market will doubt tariff implementation, analysis from OCBC wrote in a research note. For now, potential de-dollarization flows overweight the EUR and GBP negative impact of possible Eurozone and UK growth downgraded should Trump's tariff materialize. Against the yen, the dollar was less down 0.1% at 157.905 yen after Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi called the snap elections for February 8th. Her pledge to suspend an 8% sales tax on food for 2 years has focused attention on the country's shaky public finances, though the Japanese currency was a little changed after sales of 20-year government bonds saw the slack demands at an auction on Tuesday. Against the Chinese yuan trading offshore in Hong Kong, the dollar was 0.1% lower at 6.955 yuan, the weakest level for the greenback since May 2023. The People's Bank of China left the benchmark lending rate unchanged for a eighth straight month in January, as expected by analysts polled by Reuters. Indonesia's rupiah weakened by a record low of 16,985 against the dollars on Tuesday, as investors fretted about the country's central bank independency after President Prabowo Subianto nominated his nephew to join Bank Indonesia's board of governors. The Australian dollar was up 0.2% at $0.6727, while the New Zealand dollar climbed 0.5% to $0.58265, its highest level of this year. Bitcoin was up 0.6% at $92,336.99, while Ether fell 0.8% to $3,186.86. 以上です。